very good evening and thank you for joining GBS News at 9. My name is Stephen George and our sign language interpreter tonight is Alan Kiama. But first, here are the highlights. In 5 Kenyan adolescents face a serious mental health risk linked to adverse childhood experience, new study reveals.
Embu, there is a total destruction, very unfortunate kwa sababu sasa watu ambao walikuwa weko kwa biashara sasa wamekuwa watu wamesukumwa nje ya biashara. Tukiangalia watu kama Madhai, ile supermarket yetu iko pale ambapo imeporwa kila kitu.
What began as peaceful protest in Embu spirals into violent chaos as looters destroy property and business suffer heavy losses.
Ukileta pesa chini vizuri, pesa za devolution, zile function zote mumetupatia, ukileta zote chini vizuri, hawa vijana tutawashika vizuri, tutawapatia kazi na Kenya itanyamaza.
Machakos Governor Vinyan Deity calls on national government to fully fund counties, says youth must be part of devolution success. All eyes on Paris as Faith Kipyegon attempts to become the first woman in history to break the 4-minute mile barrier. Now to our first story. The 2025-2026 Finance Bill has been formally assented to by the President. This means now the bill has been made effective in law. Present at the ceremony at State House Nairobi today are the Deputy President Kithure Kindiki, Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi, and the National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula, among others.
Pursuant to Article 115 of the Constitution of Kenya, President William Ruto today exercised the powers conferred upon him and assented to the 2025-2026 Financial Bill.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Your Excellency, sir, this state ceremony is convened pursuant to Article 115 of the Constitution for the purpose of according presidential assent to 3 public finance-related bills originated in the National Assembly.
By appending his signatures to the 3 public finance-related bills, which had originated from the National Assembly, President made the bills effective in law, acquiring full legal force. The first bill to be assented to was the Supplementary Appropriation Bill, bringing to a closure the financial calendar 2024-2025.
Sir, the first bill to be presented for your assent is the Supplementary Appropriations number 3 Bill for the financial year 2024-2025. This third set of supplementary estimates arises from expenditures incurred under Article 223 of the Constitution, which require ex post parliamentary approval. The bill also seeks to facilitate further reallocations and supplementary allocations across priority sectors. The second bill to be presented for your assent is the Appropriations Bill 2025, National Assembly Bill number 23 of 2025.
Finally, the Finance Bill 2025-2026, the National Assembly Bill, was signed, opening the new financial year. Here, a new tax regime is in force with amendments to the following statutes,
including the Income Tax, the Excise Duty Act, the Value Added Tax, the Tax Procedures Act, Miscellaneous Fees and Levies Act, and the Stamp Duty Act. Your Excellency, the last bill for the day is the Finance Bill 2025, which was introduced in the House following his submission in draft form by the Cabinet Secretary for the National Treasury on 31st of April, as required by the PFM Act.
The President has shared the copies to his principal assistant, the Deputy President Kithure Kindiki. The Finance Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi, on whose shoulder lies the full responsibility of implementing the finance policy. The National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula and the Solicitor General, who will now publish the new financial law into the Kenyan Gazette. Victor Udun, GBS News. Hot 9.
25 youth arrested yesterday during demonstrations have been released by Kerugoya courts on cash bail and free security personnel bond terms of 500 shillings, 1,000 and 3,000 shillings depending on the report by probation officers. The accused were charged with taking part in unlawful assembly contrary to Section 78 as read with Section 79 of the Penal Code. They all denied the charges and their case will be mentioned on the 10th of July. Their lawyer, Jen Jerry Maina, Kirinyaga Women, and LSK Secretary General Victor Munene defended the accused as first-time offenders and deserve lenient penalty. The senator and women paid all the cash bail and bond securing freedom for all 27. So resident magistrate Grace Waithara warned the accused of skipping court session that it will extend the case time in courts.
The accused are admitted to the following cash bill and bond terms. Accused number 1 shall pay 500, accused number 2 500, accused 3 500, accused 4 500, accused number 5 500, accused number 6 shall pay 1,000, accused number 7 shall pay 1,000, accused number 8 shall pay 500, accused number 9 shall pay cash bill of 500 with 1 surety, accused number 10 500, accused number 11 500, accused number 12 1,000, accused number 14 3,000 with 1 surety. The sister shall stand surety. Accused number 13 free bond, the mother to stand surety. Accused number 15 free bond with 1 surety. Accused number 16 cash bill of 1,000, 17 500. Accused number 18 500. Accused number 19 500. Accused number 20 1,000. Accused number 21, the mother shall stand surety, which shall be released on free bonds. Accused number 22 500. Accused number 23 1,000. Accused number 24 500 and accused number 25 500.
We know that yesterday over 27 counties in this country, young people, normally referred to as Gen Zs, came out to protest the killings and to remember their peers who were killed during the 2024 Finance Bill protest of June 25th. And as a leader in Kirinyaga County, over 30 young people had been arrested and brought to Kerugoya Police Station. And we ensured that Senator Kamau Morango, myself, and Honorable Madenge have facilitated those who had been injured to be taken to the hospital with the help and assistance of the county police commandant. And beyond that, we knew that we also needed to come and defend their rights and stand by the people of Kirinyaga County, because we were elected as leaders to ensure that we protect our people, we champion for their rights, and we encourage them to be able to voice their opinion.
Nadhani siku ya leo tuko hapa kotini kwa sababu ya mambo ambayo ilitendeka, ambapo watoto wetu ambao wanaitwa Gen Z walishikwa na kuletwa mahakamani kwa sababu ilisemekana kwamba alikuwa anafanya maandamano. Katiba yetu katika ibara ya 37 inasema wazi kwamba kuna uhuru wa kufanya maandamano na kutoa maoni. Na ningependa kuuliza serikali ya kwamba kama lazima mbomoe daraja, lazima mfunze watoto wetu kwanza kuogelea. Sahihi daraja la masomo limebomolewa. Daraja la ajira limebomolewa. Imefika mahali ambapo watoto wameanza kupoteza matumaini ya maisha. Na ndio maana wanajitokeza kufanya maandamano kisheria. Kwa sababu walipokuwa naandamana hawakuwa na sheria yoyote. Ningependa kuuliza ya kwamba hata kama hamutaheshimu watoto, heshimu wazazi wao. kwa sababu unaposhika mtoto na kumleta korokoroni unaguza mzazi moja kwa moja, mzazi aliyekupigia kura, mzazi aliyepoteza wakati wako kukupa nafasi ya
Deputy President Kithure Kindiki has strongly condemned the recent wave of violent protest witnessed across the country, describing them as the most destructive day in Kenya's recent history since 2007-2008 post-election crisis. Speaking during a public address in Kiambu, Kibwezi East constituency, Kindiki termed the events as shameful and quite full of anarchy, citing the loss of lives, destruction of public and private property, and wanton looting as indicators of a deeply troubling trend.
Mimi nimekuwa kwa mambo ya siasa kwa muda kidogo kiasi, lakini yale ambayo yalitokea jana katika nchi yetu, ile aibu tulipata jana, ile hasara tuliingia jana, yale maovu yalitendeka jana, ile mali iliharibiwa jana, ile vifaa vya umma viliharibiwa jana. Kenya haijawahi kuingia katika hiyo mahali ama haijakuwa na siku kama ya jana tangu siku ile tulikuwa na ile vita vya kikabila vya 2007-2008. But I want to confirm, I have been in politics for a while, but I want to confirm that what happened in Kenya yesterday was the most violent and the most anarchist day that we've ever had since the 2007 post-election violence. I want to assure you, on behalf of President Ruto, that we will not allow Kenya to go down the drain. We will not sit and watch Kenya burning and descending into anarchy. A country which burns courtrooms, a country which rapes its women, a country that robs innocent businessmen. So, going forward, the government of Kenya will do whatever it takes to make sure that what happened yesterday will never, ever again happen on the soil of Kenya.
Embu Governor Cecily Mbarire has accused her political rivals, including the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, of characterizing the destruction and chaos during the recent riots and protests in Embu. She claimed that hired goons allegedly paid 350,000 shillings, infiltrated peaceful protests by the youth Gen Zs, and carried out acts of arson, including setting fire to the Embu County offices and other government buildings. Mbarire described the destruction as a well-planned attempt to undermine her administration and disrupt service delivery to the people of Embu. She emphasized that the attacks were politically motivated and vowed to work with investigative agencies to identify and apprehend those responsible.
I have this thing to say to one Rigathi Gachagua, and I will tell you, and I do not care how strong you may be, but you will not intimidate me anymore. And I will not stay silent, Rigathi Gachagua. Kama wewe ni Mungu, take my life today. The worst that can happen to me is for me to die, and you only die once, Rigathi Gachagua. You cannot turn Embu into a battlefield. You cannot claim to like the people of Embu and love the people of Embu and punish them at the same time. Hiyo supermarket ambayo imeharibiwa jana ni supermarket imeajiri watu wa Embu. Whether they may be wa Embu, wa Kikuyu, wa Kamba, they are people of Embu County. Who is suffering today? Is it your son who is suffering? or those who have lost their jobs today? Why do you think you can get power through the back door, Rigathi Gachagua? Why do you think that those of us who refuse to listen to you do not matter, that it is either you are way or no way? Kwani hatuna fikra sisi ya kufikiria what is good for our people? Wewe tu ndio unajua. Then you come here, you use local leaders, unachukua Mukunji, amekuwa your spanner boy. Yeye ndiye anapanga kila kitu. Yeye ndiye anapanga hii mambo yote ni yeye. And let him not threaten me. Let him not threaten me. And I have this to tell Mheshimiwa Mukunji. My friend, you've only been in politics for 3 years. I have been in politics for 23 years, and I want to tell you, the path you're taking is path to self-destruction. Unaharibiwa hapa na Rigathi unafikiria na kutumia vizuri ilhali, he's just spoiling you. And I want to tell you, I have never seen any leader in Embu, even those that were before me, do the kind of things you are doing to the people of Embu, in the name of getting power. You cannot be governor by how much distraction you give to your people. You can only be governor by the issues you raise on behalf of your people.
Well, it is time for us to take a short break. Keep your feedback streaming in the social media platform at GBS TV Africa. The SMS line is 2114. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Fun Dance Class. Today we will continue learning about Jingle Bell Rock. Friends, first you cross your arm and put it on top of your head, and as you go in left side, you open it, then you come back to your place.
And then you make your leg 90 degrees, and then as you put your legs until 90 degrees, you need to jump a bit. 1, 2. Then as you jump a bit, you need to stretch your hands downwards.
Today is all about models. So girl Alison, you tuned into Art Club, the best art show in the whole of East Africa.
My name is Abigail Paula, but on my socials I go with Peaches Paula. Yeah. I did procurement and logistics.
How do you deal with those negative comments? I'm a rejection.
Yeah.
How do you advise me?
But the heaviness of it. Rejection is redirection.
Now you were crowned Miss Kenya UK.
Yeah.
Lakini before we get there, I want to know your journey towards that title.
Started with Miss Freshers.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I ended up being the first runners-up.
Topic of discussion, Leo, is a hustle culture. Hustle culture, and this is working smart versus working hard.
Working hard is where nina hustle. I'm working like a donkey.
Unaweza pata maybe ulisoma, yes, maybe kumaliza shule, maybe hii inahitaji maybe diploma, maybe ulishuka certificate level. So I feel pia knowledge inachangia sana.
Yes.
Watu kukua kwa informal.
You have to like plan. You also have to delegate, and it's also sometimes about convenience. What is convenience for you?
Tunaweza work smart hata kama ni kwa informal jobs. Tuki-apply hiyo working smart, we can do something. Si lazima tu ikuwe ni kazi ile uko chini.
I'm picking a dare. Okay. What? Call your mom or dad and sing the chorus of their favorite song loudly. Mama Vanessa,
just a sing.
We are live on TV. I need to.
Which TV?
GBS TV. I'm on the Youth Hub and they want me to sing your song. I've been dared to sing your favorite song. So
no, don't sing that one, man.
No.
Sing yours.
No, I will sing a nice one. I know many of your songs.
Sing Daddy's song.
I sing Daddy's song, fine.
Loudly, 3,
Shout.
You're my baby, I love you. You're the best. Bye, mommy. Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
I know.
A student can transition from other curriculums such as the Kenyan CBC curriculum, the Pearson EdExcel curriculum, and the IB curriculum to the Cambridge curriculum.
Everywhere, GBS.
And welcome back now. Embu leaders have strongly condemned looting and destruction of property that took place in Embu town yesterday during Gen Z protests in commemoration of their colleagues who died last year during anti-finance bill protest. Trading and public facilities were left counting massive losses running into millions, and criminal gangs rained terror during the protest. As the day progressed, what started off as a peaceful protest generated into full-blown riots, and looting and destruction of property took center stage. Speaking after touring the Diocese Waumini building that houses Mathai Supermarket and Post Bank and other several shops that were also vandalized, Bishop Kimani termed the incident unfortunate and called for Manyata Member of Parliament Gitonga Mukunji called for speedy investigations to be carried out so that the planners and perpetrators of the heinous act are brought to book. Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry Embu Branch Chair Mugo Mate termed the incident as criminal, and those behind it should be treated as such. Today, officers from the DCI spent the better part of the day processing the scenes and gathering evidence with a view of apprehending the culprits.
Na hii uporanji, mimi sitasema ni ya uporanji wa watu wa maandamano ya amani. Tutasema hii ni uporanji ambayo inaonekana ni kama kuna watu walikuwa wamejipanga.
Uharibifu ule mkubwa ambao tumeona ni katika supermarket ambayo ndio mteja wetu hasa mkuu katika jumba hili letu la waumini. Na hivyo basi tumeona uharibifu huo sio uharibifu ambao unaambatana na lile lengo ambalo lilikuwa limewekwa na wale ambao waliopanga maandamano ya jana. Lakini ni maandamano, ni uharibifu ambao ulipangwa na watu wengine, kwa sababu maandamano yalikuwa na nia nzuri ya ukumbusho wa wale vijana ambao waliuliwa na yale ambayo yanayohitajika na katika uongozi, ubadilishaji, hasa kutafuta uelewano na uwiano na maendeleo, na hasa kutafutia vijana wetu kazi ili waweze kujisimamia.
Kwanza ni kushtumu vikali uvunjaji wa mali, upotezi wa rasilimali ya watu katika maneno ya demonstrations. Ya pili pia ni kuambia polisi wafanye investigations na waweke katika vitabu wale watu ambao wamehusika katika maneno ya kuharibu mali ya wananchi na mali ambayo ni mali ya umma. Gavana ya Embu juzi usiku alikuwa ametoka akasema anajua kuna gunzi zinapangwa kutoka sijui wapi Kirinyaga. Na hii ni kazi ya gunzi ambayo tumeona hapa. Mimi ningetaka kumwambia aandikishe statement, aseme hizo gunzi alikuwa amepata fununu ziko wapi. Na hao ndio watu walikuja kuharibu mali ya watu yetu huku Embu.
1 in 5 Kenyan adolescents has experienced 4 or more adverse childhood experiences, placing them at a high risk for mental health challenges such as anxiety, depression, and bullying. This is according to the new findings from the study Understanding the Lasting Effects of Adverse Childhood Experience on the Mental Health of Kenyan Youth, shared during the Advanced Childhood Experience from Research to Policy Action webinar hosted by Brain and Mind Institute at Aga Khan University in collaboration with Shamiri Institute, as Susan Nganga reports.
A silent crisis is growing among Kenya's young people. 1 in 5 teens has faced 4 or more serious childhood hardships, the kind that can lead to depression, anxiety, and even bullying. The findings were released during a webinar hosted by the Brain and Mind Institute at the Aga Khan University in partnership with the Shamiri Institute. Adverse childhood experiences or essays include violence, include neglect, violence, abuse, and poverty. They can leave long-lasting scars on mental well-being. Nearly a quarter of teens reported moderate to severe depression, while over 21% face anxiety. Boys appear particularly vulnerable to bullying. The study also found that teens with just one surviving parent had 18% higher adversity scores, and students struggling academically were 15% more likely to have faced trauma. The message has never been clearer. Every child in Kenya deserves the chance not only to survive adversity, but to thrive beyond it.
Machakos Governor Wavinya Ndeti is calling on the national government to fully fund counties to ensure the success of devolution. Speaking in Mwala Sub-County, Wavinya said timely and adequate funding would enable counties to create jobs and deliver essential services effectively. The governor, who was issuing empowerment items to local groups in Kabauni Ward, also underscored the importance of engaging the youth and understanding their needs. Susan Nganga with more.
Asante, makofi kwa wao.
Machakos County Governor Wavinya Ndeti has called on the national government to fully fund county governments to enable them effectively deliver on the devolved functions. Speaking at the Kibauni Ward in Mwala Sub-County while issuing empowerment items to local groups, Governor Wavinya emphasized the importance of adequate funding for devolution to succeed.
Na niulize national government, mukileta pesa chini vizuri, pesa za devolution, zile functions zote mumetupatia, mukileta zote chini vizuri, hawa vijana tutawashika vizuri, tutawapatia kazi na Kenya itanyamaza. Unaona? Because in the counties is where the rubber meets the road. If the national government commits itself even more to work with the counties and ensure that the counties are well empowered and given the budget the way it should be given, there will be a change. There will be a change in this world. Because Kenya ni Kenya, lakini hawa watoto Kenya iko kwa hewa, si ndio? Kenya iko hapa nini? Chini. Kenya iko hapa mashinani, mali watu wako.
She further urged the national government to engage with the youth and understand their needs, noting that young people form the majority of the population.
Na mimi kwanza ningependa kuuliza serikali kuu, ni vizuri kukaa na hawa vijana na kuwasikiza. Na wakitaka kufanya maandamano, kuna wapale Kenya walifanya maandamano peacefully. Wengine wakakuja wakaingiliwa na guns. Mimi ningependa hii nchi ni yetu sisi wote. Na wale wengi ni hawa vijana. Kwani ni nini? Hata kwa nyumba yako lazima usikize watoto wako, si ndio? Lazima usikize watoto wako. Hawa watoto tuwasikize, tusaidiane.
During the same event, Governor Wavinya and her deputy Francis Mongagi rallied the Kamba community to support Kalonzo Musyoka's 2027 presidential bid, emphasizing the need for unity and solidarity behind one of their own. Susan Nganga, GBS News, Machakos County.
We are taking a short break. Keep your feedback streaming in our social media platform at GBS TV Africa. We'll be right back. Well, to our next story, President William Ruto on Thursday, the 26th of June, hosted the African Union Commission Chairperson Mohamud Yusuf at State House, Nairobi, for a high-level talk centered on African Union institutional reforms and regional security. In a statement, the African Union said the visit comes in the build-up to the special summit on African Union reforms, a key continental meeting aimed at streamlining and strengthening the AU's operations. Additionally, during the meeting, the leaders discussed security, particularly the coordination between the East African Community and the Southern African Development Community on the situation in the East DRC. We are taking a short break. Keep streaming it on social media platform at GBS TV Africa. We'll be right back.
Is love enough? Let me just ask that question first before we dive in.
No. In marriage is more than love. It's there is love, there is trust, there is respect.
What is the definition of love in the context of marriage?
Love, to me, is one of the cornerstones of the marriage. And for the marriage to work, it will demand effort, total commitment, and shared vision.
Like, you can't tell your wife, come and sit on my laps.
How hard is it for him to tell me, come and sit on my lap?
Can your mom do that?
But what is the problem? The problem, people don't want to hear the voice of Jesus, and they don't want to live through the voice of Jesus. But most of the time, people are living the life of struggling. The people who died before receiving Jesus Christ, the people who died in sin, those people, they will go to the judgment, they will go to the fire, and those people will say that they are dead because they will face the second death, which is the hellfire. People without knowing this, people think that, no, I should do something. No, I need to do something. Why? Because they don't know exact heart of God. They don't know exact will of God. And through this, God allowed His goodness. God allowed the problems in our life. And when God allowed this goodness leads us to
Mahali ambapo nakukaribisha tena kwa mpigo tena zaidi kila siku ya Jumamosi. Unazidi kuungana nasi.
Ukiangalia Real Betis walianza kwa moto sana.
Ndani ya Sports Sugu, mahali ambapo tunakuelimisha na tunakujuza mengi kuhusiana na mambo ya kandanda. Sababu hapa nchini Kenya, ligi kuu nchini Uingereza, mahali ambapo ni Hispaniola, Ujerumani, Ureno, kila kitu inakuwa iko swadakta kabisa.
Everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back now to international news. Tragedy has struck in northern Nigeria, where at least 17 soldiers have been killed in a series of coordinated attacks on military bases. The assaults carried out by heavily armed gunmen highlight the growing threat of criminal gangs operating across the region. Here's more on the story.
At least 17 Nigerian soldiers were killed in a wave of coordinated attacks on military bases in Niger and Kaduna states. The gunmen, heavily armed and well organized, launched surprise raids, overwhelming troops in prolonged firefights that stretched late into the day. The attackers, often labeled as bandits, are part of a criminal networks that have terrorized Nigeria's northwest for years. Known for village raids, mass abductions and assaults on security forces, this group struck with deadly precision, exposing the vulnerability of remote army outposts. The killings mark another grim chapter in a region plagued by insecurity and a stretched military presence. As the army withholds comment, communities remain on edge, waiting for action in a fight that continues to cost lives, both civilian and military. Elvin Muyodi, GBS News.
A deadly landslide struck the municipality of Bello near Medellin, Colombia, following intense overnight rains, leaving several people dead and dozens missing. Homes and vehicles were buried under mud, prompting a large-scale rescue effort by emergency crews and local residents. As unstable conditions continue, authorities have issued evacuation alerts and are providing aid to displaced families. Here's more on the details.
Rescue efforts intensified today in the municipality of Bello, just outside Medellin, after a deadly landslide swept through a residential area, burying several homes and vehicles under thick layers of mud and debris. Heavy rainfall triggered the collapse of a hillside overnight, catching many residents off guard. Local authorities confirmed that multiple bodies have been recovered, while dozens of people remain missing.
We don't really know how many more people are buried. This was truly a very severe natural catastrophe. We haven't recovered from everything that's happening. We are sad. We have much sadness in our hearts, seeing how a community was lost, seeing how lives were lost.
Emergency crews, supported by local residents in the Colombian municipality of Bello, outside Medellin, worked to clear the mud in hopes of finding survivors of the deadly landslide that struck the town. The terrain remains unstable due to continued rain, complicating rescue efforts and prompting evacuation alerts for nearby communities at risk of further slides. Emergency shelters have been set up to house displaced families, and aid distribution has begun.
I feel sadness with so many people still buried. We don't know what to do from now on. The effort, struggle, hunger, and sacrifices. We don't live here because we want to. We live here because there really is nowhere else to live.
Tragedy has drawn national attention, with the government officials pledging full support for ongoing. As families await news of missing loved ones, the community has come together in solidarity, offering food, shelter, and emotional support. Underscores the vulnerability of hillside Colombia's rainy season and the urgent need for long-term mitigation efforts.
The late Zambian President Edgar Lungu may be buried today in South Africa if a high court in Pretoria rules so. This will be a private family ceremony. Even Zambia's President Hichilema is not expected to attend. Lungu died on the 5th of this month in South Africa while receiving treatment.
Today, Thursday the 26th of June of 2025, two important activities are taking place in South Africa. One pending on the outcome of the other for it to proceed. At Hillbrow in Johannesburg, wreaths of flowers and mourners have filled the cross the King Church, ready to carry out a funeral service for the late Zambia's President Edgar Chagwa Lungu before his burial today in South Africa. Whereas in Pretoria, a High Court judge is expected to make a ruling whether the burial can proceed or not.
Instructions that I got should take care of the matter. Obviously, I just need to speak to my senior friend here if we can agree on some sort of a draft order. But we will. My instructions is to give certain undertakings that will take care of the issues as it stands today. The family for the family of the deceased for the late president doesn't want a piecemeal funeral situation.
Lungu's family and loved ones have filled the court benches, clad in funeral attire, in anticipation of the ruling in their favor. Zambia's government, through its Attorney General Mulilo Kabisa, yesterday threw a spanner into the works as it filed a case at the North Gauteng High Court, asking the court to interdict the late Lungu's burial. This means that Zambia's sixth president cannot find a rest until the court makes a final determination over the matter.
By agreement between the parties, an order is made in the following terms. The first to seventh respondents undertake not to proceed with the funeral and or burial of the late president pending the finalization of the application in prayer.
The family plans to hold a private burial ceremony in South Africa, with Zambia's President Hakainde Hichilema excluded.
Family has been consistent. He mattered to the family when he was president, he matters to the family now. And taking him back home, it so appears, will not give him a dignified burial. And the family only wants to give him a dignified burial, not one that's shrouded in mockery, that's shrouded in PR, that's shrouded in giving the international community a perception that he was properly treated, when in fact not. Decency requires that the government should come across and say, we are sorry we never treated him well. We are sorry we did wrong to him. Now that he's dead, how can we make amends? No one spoke for Edgar Chagwa Lungu when he was alive. And now people want to pretend to speak for him when they were never there for him in his lifetime. And this time around, perhaps President Edgar Chagwa Lungu has refused to go down to the soil without the truth being told.
Zambian government is seeking the repatriation of the mortal remains of the late president. The late Lungu died on the 5th of June 2025 at the age of 68 in Pretoria, South Africa, while undergoing a surgery of a cardiac arrest. Victor Zing.
It is time for your most favorite segment of the show, the sports news. Let's get sporty. History was to be made tonight in Paris, but unfortunately, Faith Kipyegon, the reigning queen of middle distance running, failed to break the first unofficial sub-4-minute mile by a woman. Kipyegon clocked a time of 4.06.42, but was supposed to finish with the time of under 4 minutes. Let's have a look.
Achievement. How are you feeling right now?
Exhausted. I'm tired. Yeah, but I feel good. I've tried. That is why I was coming here to, try to be the first woman to run under 4 minutes, but I've proven that it's possible. And if there's not something like this, the special one, I think in normal dam or league or anything, I will still go for it. I hope I will get it one day, one time. I want to thank all of you for coming, for cheering me up. This was really special. I did not expect to see many people, but I'm so grateful and have proved to the world that everything is possible, and Eliud did before, and I've proven that something special is coming. I think I will tell them we are not limited. We can limit ourselves to the thoughts, but I think we are possible to try everything in our lives and prove to the world that we are strong, and yeah, we keep pushing. I'm so grateful to my team, my pacemakers. That was a wonderful job. It was not easy, but thank you for, coming out and help me to achieve, what many people think it's impossible, but I think we have proved them wrong that it's possible. So yeah, we keep on moving.
This Sunday, football fans across Kenya will turn their eyes to Ulinzi Sports Complex, where Gor Mahia takes on Nairobi United in the much-anticipated Mozzartbet Cup final after the completion of the FKF Premier League last weekend. Record Kenya champions Gor Mahia are gunning for the silverware after finishing second in the FKF Premier League, but standing in their way is the spirited Nairobi United, making their first ever appearance in the cup final. Nairobi United head coach Nicholas Muyoti says his side is ready to shock the footballing world. He believes discipline and teamwork could be the key to overcoming Gor Mahia's experience. Team captain Isaac Ouma echoed the sentiments, adding that reaching the final is already a statement, but they are not done yet. On the opposite side, Gor Mahia coach Zedekiah Zico Otieno is urging his players to stay focused and respect their opponents. Zico, who is no stranger to high-pressure finals, is confident in his squad's preparation. Gor Mahia's Philemon Otieno says lifting the Mozzartbet Cup would be a fitting reward for their hard work this season. Here is more the story.
11 versus 11 out on the pitch, and everyone is going to give out their best. These boys have told us, if we're going to play the cup, we want it to be ours, and we are owning it. So I think the boys' mentality is already set, that they're winning. Yes, we lost our last match. I think it was the atmosphere. We're already comfortable that we've already won the league. But for me, I think that was a very long mentality and something that needed to change as quickly as possible. So we brought back the boys, and there's some issues that probably made us not perform to the best of our abilities on that day. But I'm happy they've been taken care of, and now we're focused, ready to play our final match against Gor Mahia.
It's a game like any other. Na pia the motivation tuko nayo pia ni kuinua hiyo kikombe. Tunajua hiyo ni direct ticket. Yeah, so it's the feelings siwezi explain vile iko, because it's an achievement being here.
Nairobi United are a good team. For them to reach the finals, it means they are a good team. So we have to make sure that we approach that game with the seriousness it deserves.
This is a team which deserves to be in the final, and we'll treat them as such, not as underdogs, but as an equal, because we are all in the final. We had two objectives when the league started. We had to win the league and also to be champions of Mozart Cup. The league has gone. Now this is the only other cup which is remaining with us. So we have to really come out very strongly and very committed, and we have to try and get the cup on Sunday.
Liverpool today announced they had completed the $55 million signing of Bournemouth defender Milos Kerkez. The 21-year-old, who has spent a 5-year deal, is the third major signing of the transfer window for the Premier League champions, following the arrival of Jeremy and Florian. Now, the left-back Kerkez is viewed as the long-term successor of 31-year-old Andy Robertson, who is a target for Atletico Madrid. Now, Kerkez made 74 appearances for Bournemouth after joining from Al Amarf 2 years ago, scoring twice. Born in Serbia, Kerkez has earned 23 caps for Hungary since making his debut against Germany in 2022.
to play for one of the biggest clubs in the world, biggest club in England, and I'm just really happy and excited. You can't have much peace because it's Liverpool, and you want to be a Liverpool player, and I think it should be every kid's dream. And I was just waiting nearly every day and what is happening, and wanted my dad to tell me and this, and a couple of days ago, a week ago, he told me it's falling good and that we are flying this week here. So
Cristiano Ronaldo is staying in Saudi Arabia. The Portuguese superstar has signed a new 2-year contract extension with Al Nassr. This means the 40-year-old legend will keep playing until at least the age of 42. After some fans thought he might leave, Ronaldo confirmed he is not going anywhere, saying Al Nassr forever. Ronaldo joined the club in 2022 in a deal worth around $200 million a year. Since then, he brought big attention to Saudi football. Even though he only won one trophy with the team so far, his passion and dream to keep making history are still alive. The club shared a video of Ronaldo walking on the beach with a message. The story continues, showing they are excited to keep their star player. Well, we have come to the end of the news bulletin. It is always a pleasure having you on board. Let's do this again next time. Send channel will make your news our business. My name is Stephen George, and our sign language interpreter tonight has been Alan Kiama. Good night.